I reposted on X, formerly Twitter, the announcement that Jake Tapper, the Russiagate hoaxer.
Trump-hating hoaxster.
Yep. So Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. But all I did was repost something from the Post Millennial that said, breaking, Russiagate hoaxer Jake Tapper to host CNN debate between Trump and Biden. And all I did was comment, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, gosh.
Pretty innocuous comment, right? Well, Uncle Barky, who was a longtime TV radio critic in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Right, and longtime friend of mine.
I know, and I don't want to put you in a bad spot here.
No, I love Ed. Ed actually loves me, and but anyway, but go just
all
go
right,
ahead.
So
do your worst.
So he posted, well, I don't want to attack the guy.
I'm
I know.
teasing,
listen,
it's okay.
Well, listen, a friend of yours is a friend of mine in a way, so I don't want to attack him.
Always been gracious to me.
I think I've interviewed him before, but he clearly is not on board with President Trump because his reaction to my post was, your Lord and Savior instantly signed up for it, so shut up. Now, I know that's fine, and
my gosh, I don't know.
All right, but here's what I wanted to say to Uncle Barky. First, by the way, instinctively I blocked him, and then I thought, no, I don't want to block Uncle Barky. You know, but when you're a jerk, I don't like to engage with people that say jerky things. And you know, I know it's a glib, off the cuff remark, but my Lord and Savior, really, Uncle Barky? And then shut up. I mean, but let's get serious for a moment, because then what I should have if I wanted to engage him on Twitter, and I'm not going to, but if I did, what I would have said was, now do the 100,000 plus people at the Jersey Shore last week.
Thank you.
You know, when we say over and over, Mark, they don't hate Trump, they hate us.
Right.
That really is true.
Of course.
Look at the institutional reactions to the debate, for example, and the Biden rules. No audience.
Yep.
And they love that. They love no audience. Chris Wallace said yesterday, because he's a previous host of a debate, well, the audience is a pain in the neck. Yeah. The people are a pain in the neck to these folks. The people are a pain in the neck to Uncle Barky. Because Uncle Barky, I don't know that Uncle Barky thinks that 100,000 excited people at the Jersey Shore in May, we've never had a presidential rally this far out in the campaign. No. But does he think they all worship Trump as their Lord and Savior? Does he look at millions and millions of Americans as cultists? I mean it. I always wonder about that kind of response. Because they're not just talking about Trump, they're talking about all of us, Mark. So do you think that is Uncle Barky oblivious to the political phenomenon that is the Trump movement?
Let me spread it out among everybody that makes that observation. And the answer to your question is yes, because it simply can't be a massive wave of real hardworking Americans craving policies that make America better. Oh, it can't be that. It must be he's the orange savior. We are in a cult. We are in his thrall. We must all be just insipid, blind lemmings following him to ruin, because they cannot remotely entertain the notion that it's just millions of Americans who want America to be better, and they know he can do it.
Isn't that wild? And I think you're spot on. But that would be like you and me looking around at the majority of Americans. If Biden had this kind of response today, you and I would not be in a state of denial that America wants this guy. America doesn't want this guy. We all know it.
All right, you want a test? There's a real-time test, and it wasn't so very long ago. It wasn't like this, but there was a huge fawning throng around Obama. And there was a kind of a messiah imagery that was around him. And I'm trying to remember what we tended to say. We acknowledged it. I think we lamented that those folks were, they love him. They want this. And we got work to do. And they are misguided. And we disagree with them. But I don't think we ever stooped to the notion that they are somehow in some weird, unthinking, suspended animation.
State. They were enthralled. They were brainwashed by. No, we didn't. Look, I point to the Obama era as proof that we are not the filthy, rotten, racist nation that so many leftists say we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we only had a black president for 2 terms, and good luck replicating that around the world. So no, I don't. But you're right. That's a great apples to apples test. We didn't sit around and say that all these people were just blind stooges, oblivious. Listen, there are lots of people who like Democrat policies. There are lots of people who like, and I hate to be pejorative here, but late-term abortions. They like open borders. Yeah. They don't mind the government cradle to grave telling us what to do. We get that. We understand that. We disagree strongly with it, and we believe that the answer is to get it fixed by better elected politicians. But you're right. The Uncle Barkeys of the world and the Chris Wallaces and all the people who have disdain and contempt for the millions of people that just, and you said it perfectly, and I'm going to quote you often, we just want a guy with better policies that'll make America better than it has been. And shame on that kind. And again, it's Uncle Barky, and he's glib, and he writes candidly and with humor and all that. But don't insult a Christian. And I got to believe he listens to us, and he knows that you and I are both men of faith. Don't tell us that Donald Trump is replacing Jesus Christ in our minds. That's insulting, and it's degrading, and frankly, it's kind of blasphemous. But that's how they roll. That's what they do. Now, let's get to the debate, front and center. Getting Biden on a debate stage is a win in every single category.
Correct.
The only reason Biden is agreeing to do this is because he's losing, and he knows it.
Yep.
You don't believe me? Go to one of the stalwarts of the Democrat Party. Go to Nancy Pelosi. I got a clip that I'm playing today of Nancy Pelosi saying Biden should never get on a debate stage with Donald Trump.
I remember that.
Right? I mean,
yep, of course.
They don't want Biden up on that stage with Trump. And frankly, I'm pleasantly shocked that Biden is. Now, the rules stink. Give me a break with no audience. Give me a break with turning off the microphone. It's going to be a crap show. Yep. Incidentally, we're going to cover it extensively. I might be headed to Atlanta June 27th, right before the Alaska and the Patriots Alaska cruise with Seb Gorka. But yeah, we're going to cover this. We're going to give tons of this is unprecedented because it's going to be a brawl. And don't you think, Mark, the potential for this thing going off the rails mightily is pretty high?
It is. The possibilities are endless. Trump just dominating so much that maybe Democrats are even more urgent than their desire to give him the hook. Biden having expectations so incredibly low that he kind of squeaks by, and the storyline in the leftist media is, look how great he did. I want to also offer you another tiny, tiny possibility, and that is that we're all being played. I'm not predicting this. I'm not saying it strongly, but this is so weird. You have to hold out the possibility that the debates may never happen. I said in my Newsweek column, I'll believe it when I see it, and I probably will see it, but there's a little nugget in there that says Biden had to show willingness to debate, earn some, coherent man points for that, but then ultimately there'll be some dust up, some disagreement, something that makes it all impossible. So, I mean, I don't know. And last thing, for hostile moderators, of course, Jake Tapper, Dana Bash, they hate Trump's guts, but it's Trump. He'll be able to even turn that to his advantage. Nobody handles hostile questioning better than Trump. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I mean, I think Biden could not possibly talk tough and accept it, make my day, do his stupid Clint Eastwood material with all the jump cuts, incidentally. They can't even do apparently a 10-second clip.
5 edits in 14 seconds.
Five edits. Good Lord. But he can't possibly renege now. It's all the works, all the preparation is now underway. For him to pull out, he would look so bad, and it would be even a bigger fail for him. But number two, you're so right. Trump will. We know it's baked into the cake that they're going to be unfair to him. We know that. Listen, putting him on trial in May is unfair to him. The whole deck is stacked against him. That's the whole point of his popularity right now. Everybody knows that everything is rigged against him, but he has an ability to soar. He has an ability to once you spend time with him at a rally, during an interview, during a debate, you get him. You get him more and more. So people are going to watch him. And even the Uncle Barkeys are going to say, you know what? He makes a lot of sense on the border. You know what? This guy makes sense on mandates. You know what? This guy, and he is likable. I know they hate it. Listen, you and I could admit Obama is, going back to the comparison you made, He's a likable guy.
Incredibly gifted, connects with great skill, as did
charismatic.
Clinton. Exactly right.
Now, unlike Joe Biden, we don't say, and he's also clean. He bathes. We don't go where Grandpa.
He's articulate.
He's an articulate, clean black man. We don't go there.
No.
But we acknowledge his popularity. Incidentally, back to that original point, which I really am fascinated by. Aaron, the great Aaron from Southlake, points out that Dan Bongino always says about the way we feel about the left and the way they feel about us. We think they're people with bad ideas.
Right.
They think we're bad people with ideas.
Evil or stupid. Exactly right.
That's right. We're just bad people with we just happen to have ideas, but we're at the core, we're rotten people. We don't really think that of them. Now some do. Many on our side do. We're communists and all that. But that's not really mainstream. Mainstream is kind of like we just think they have bad ideas, bad policy. Open borders is bad policy. Late-term abortion is bad policy.
Yep.
Getting rid of the Trump tax cuts, bad policy. And so Americans have just about had it. So, wow, we are in for a wild ride, my friend. The next few months are going to be just unhinged.
It is going to be remarkable. And as I think about the way this looks on paper, an obviously cognitively declined Biden on a stage, standing at a podium for it is 2 hours, right? We've got that in concrete.
Yep.
I want I want Trump to just let the game come to him. When I say calmly, I don't mean sedately or out of character for him, but just in the statesman-like, matter-of-fact way that we know he's capable of, remind everybody of how much better the country was when he was president. Because I think there are voters who will enjoy that, but they don't want to see grandpa get beat up. They don't want to see elder abuse. So I think there's a way for Trump to triangulate this.
I
don't want to say
ain't going to happen.
What do you mean? So what do you expect?
Trump is going to be Trump. You don't think he's going to go for the jugular?
That's not un-Trump, and I'm not calling for him to be, Charles Krauthammer.
Right?
Exactly. Just be there, be strong on issues, remind the voters.
Well, I had another exchange like that with a broadcaster out of Atlanta, Parks Stamper. She's a Christian broadcaster, and she and I've had, and she's a nice lady. I had her on the show. She doesn't like Trump at all, and she posted yesterday, well, Trump's he needs a filter for these debates because last time around the debates were the nail in his coffin. And I said, Mark, bad really. Take. No, it wasn't. COVID was the nail in his coffin.
There were some other things that were nail in his coffin, too.
But did you think he failed in the debates last time?
I think there was one of them. There was one of them where I think he kind of overplayed a little bit. One of them where he wasn't
Stop it, Squish.
No. I want him at his best. I want him at his best. And the best Trump needs to do two things at the same time. Energize the base and make those of us who love him already go, yeah, well done. And also make millions of people who are wondering about him say, you know what? The country was better and he is worthy of my vote.
You're just kissing up to Uncle Barkley. I know what you're doing. That's okay.
Yeah, of course. Exactly. Hey, does RFK, 30 seconds, does RFK Jr. have a point? I mean, does he deserve at least one debate stage with him on it? I think he does.
Why shut him down? I mean, there are people, let's hear about late-term abortion the way he sees it. Let's hear about his radical leftist position.
Let's hear about the worm that ate his brain.
There's one thing we like about him, and that's his position on vaccines, and that's all. You get past that, there's not a whole lot to like with this guy.
And that's why the Biden team does not want him, because we've spent months saying, who does he hurt worse? Who does he steal? He's absolutely a net downside for the Biden voter.
Oh, I saw on Fox. I think I saw this morning on Fox. Trump is already saying RFK ought to have a seat at the table.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing. Let Trump be Trump, my friend.
Let him be. Of course. I'm not trying to defang him in any way, shape, or form. It's so great to have you back. My day is complete.
I'm so glad to be back. Can't wait. All right. Happy Thursday. See you tomorrow.
Happy Thursday, Mike Gallagher.